My parents completely disowned me the week I turned 19, leaving me with a trash bag of clothes and $40. No warning, no tearful goodbye, just my dad pointing at the driveway saying, "You're cut off. Figure it out." I asked if he was serious. My voice cracked, but he stared right through me. He gave me 5 minutes to get off his property before he called the cops. My older brother was 22 then. That same month, they bought him a Ford F-150, paid his credit card debt, and gave him a fake executive title at Dad's logistics company. I wasn't a delinquent. I worked 60-hour weeks at a bakery and minded my business. I just refused to drop my culinary apprenticeship to work for free in his warehouse. I was the scapegoat, and this was punishment. The first years were absolute hell. I lived in the back of a freezing 2004 Toyota Corolla in a Denver parking lot. I showered at a truck stop and ate leftover bread crusts. Eventually, I rented a windowless basement from a guy who collected reptiles. It took 6 years of grinding to escape. I worked as a prep cook, a dishwasher, and a late-night cleaner at a slaughterhouse that reeked of bleach. I'd fall asleep on the bus home with my hands covered in chemical burns. But I saved every penny and launched my own private catering company. By 28, I had a beautiful downtown loft with exposed brick walls, a thriving business with 6 employees, and actual peace. I never looked back. If I wasn't worth their time back then when I had nothing, I wasn't going to beg for their approval now when I had everything. Then, on a rainy Tuesday, my commercial kitchen's buzzer rang. I checked the camera and my blood ran cold. My parents were at the loading dock. I walked out wiping flour off my apron, keeping the heavy security gate locked between us. "We need to talk," Dad barked. They stared at my expensive equipment like sizing up a pawn shop. "It's your brother," Mom said, shaking. "He made bad investments. He's facing a massive civil lawsuit. If he doesn't settle for $150,000 by next month, he goes to prison." I stared at her, stunned. "You want me to bail him out after you threw me out like garbage?" Dad slammed the iron gate. "He's blood. He wouldn't survive a week in a cell." I told them his survival wasn't my problem, and walked back inside. The harassment started instantly. My brother left a frantic voicemail at 2 a.m., begging me to take a lien on my kitchen. I blocked him. 2 days later, my parents ambushed my lead chef in the parking lot, screaming that I was letting flesh and blood die just to be vindictive. They even left fake bad reviews on my company's page. The breaking point happened Friday morning. I got an urgent bank alert on my phone. Someone tried to wire $95,000 from my business account using a forged power of attorney. The teller flagged it because the signature didn't match my master file. I drove straight to a corporate attorney. I handed over the bank logs and voicemails, demanding a restraining order. "Let me run a forensic check on their company first," she said. 3 days later, she dropped federal court documents on her desk. "They aren't just trying to steal your cash," she said grimly. "Your brother embezzled from a federal contractor. And 5 years ago, your parents forged your signature to make you a 50% guarantor of his shell company." My lungs tightened. They knew the feds were closing in. They were trying to drain my accounts before the government seized my legitimate business to pay for his corporate crimes. I didn't warn them or demand an apology. I handed everything straight to the FBI. I gave investigators my bank records, the security footage, the forged documents, and my alibis. The raid happened during my parents' extravagant 30th wedding anniversary gala. I wasn't there, but my aunt called in hysterics, describing federal agents walking my dad and brother out of the banquet hall in handcuffs past a melting ice sculpture. 2 months later, the indictments came down. Because I cooperated and proved the forgery, I got full immunity. My parents were forced to liquidate their estate for restitution. My brother took a plea deal for 36 months in federal lockup. I received a final, furious letter from my mom, calling me a heartless traitor. I didn't reply. I simply ran her letter through an industrial paper shredder and threw it in the dumpster out back. Letting go had never tasted so sweet.